When was the last time you broke the rules? When was the last time you fought for what you wanted? As girls, we've always been told what to do, how to behave, how to live. We've internalized that our lives are not our own. We've accepted a fate that was given to us by birth, ignoring our own feelings and beliefs. History has repeatedly blurred women's achievements. When did we forget that it was one of us who took humanity to the moon? This lack of feminine role models filters down into every little girl's mind. You are not worth it. You are not enough. But what if we are? What if we always have been? What if we no longer want to fit in? Now is the time to swim upstream. It is time to step up as women and to set up our future to gain power over our lives. Power will not be given to you. You must take it. Break the algorithm and join the International FemHack.
Hi again, everybody. Good afternoon. Well, it's afternoon for me because I'm based in Barcelona. So we are again here because we will continue with the conferences of this afternoon. So I have the pleasure of presenting you our next speaker, which is Ana Melgarejo. She's the Chief Product Officer in Samy Alliance, and she's here today to talk about professional experience in project management in the tech sector. So hi, Ana, really nice to have you here. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today. I hope the talk will be interesting for someone.
Yeah, sure. I'm more than sure of that. I don't have any kind of doubt. So for the public, I will introduce briefly Ana. So she's from Valencia, here in Spain, graduated in journalism, summa cum laude, with postgraduate studies in audiovisual and graphic design and several masters in project and product management. 15 years of professional experience in the digital world, from programming to management, in companies such as Netquik, iProspect, Wonderman, Jaguar Land Rover, and stays in other countries such as Mexico. Today, she's the Chief Product Officer at Samy Alliance. So, Ana, whatever you want, you can start presenting whatever you have prepared for us today.
Okay, thank you so much. So, hello everyone. Thank you very much for the introduction, Alia. It's a pleasure for me to be here today to share a little bit about my experience in the industry and how can we leverage both our education and professional trajectory to become a better project managers in the digital environment. Well, this I think this may not be a very technical talk, but I hope it serves as inspiration for those interested in the management aspects as well, or to understand how project management should be foundation beyond the methodology we use. As you can see, I don't have a technological background, but I've been working in digital projects in several areas for the last 15 years. I worked as programmer a long time ago, but I tell you about that later. As Noelia said, I've been working at Samy Alliance for over 3 years. Well, Samy is a company dedicated to providing service for digital marketing, strategy, PR, content generation, and with a strong technological and data science component. I work as a Chief Product Officer, which is a position closely involved with the business and, of course, with our in-house product development team, as well as external technology providers who help us to continue to evolve. In this regard, the main challenge of my role is to ensure that business objectives are aligned with product development and the technology we use. Well, to achieve this, I believe there are three fundamental pillars if we want to overcome this challenge. And for me, these three pillars are essential in managing any project, particularly in our industry. Well, the first one is communication between departments. And when I talk about communication, I also mean being able to listen and understand the needs of departments, clients, and the evolving market. It's not just about effectively communicating the technological aspects of our work, which often aren't easily understood in companies, but the ability to listen to others can be the difference between the success or not of a project. On the other hand, well, having a broad range of knowledge, being multidisciplinary, I think is crucial. You are the one that makes things happen. A significant part of the job is finding solutions, and to do so, you need to have a good understanding of how everything works. From the finance department to marketing, human resources, systems, and so on. I firmly believe that this can only be achieved by sitting down and talking with stakeholders, understanding the problems they face in their day-to-day work, and how we can find solutions to those problems through product development or the use of technology. Well, moreover, it's important to know how to work with cross-functional teams, many of whom are highly specialized in their respective areas and have limited knowledge of technology and the digital world as we know it. I think you always have to keep in mind that the person in front of you may not understand your work, just as you don't understand theirs. It's not about not telling what we do because it's too technical, but rather telling it in a way that is understood and people see the usefulness. Here, the diversity of perspectives, this teamwork enrich the decision-making process, making more easy the identification of creative and effective solutions that could be overlooked in a more homogeneous environment. So I think you have to always keep in mind these three concepts and always use them as the base of your work and your relationship with your colleagues. Obviously, you can manage a project without that, but I'm pretty sure that could be a disaster. And based on these three pillars, through my experience, working with agile methodologies has been a revolution in these 15 years. Whether you use Scrum, like in my case, or Kanban, Lean, depending on the company, the result has always significant benefits. First of all, increased responsiveness to change. Agile methodologies are designed to adapt to change in requirements and customer needs. With short and frequent iterations, teams can receive quick feedback and adjust their approach accordingly. And this allows for more flexibility and the ability to respond quickly to market change. well, Agile also improve the collaboration with these methodologies, promote continuous collaboration and communication among team members and stakeholders. Agile teams are often multidisciplinary and self-managed, fostering collaboration, joint problem solving, and team decision making. This, for me, this improves the quality of the work, but also the team morale. People is more happy working like that. Well, and obviously the delivery of value. Instead of waiting to have a fully development product before release it, agile methodologies enable the iterative delivery of value increments. This means that functional features can be delivered incrementally and early in the development process. This leads to greater customer satisfaction and the opportunity to obtain important feedback for early product improvement. So, in summary, agile methodologies such as Scrum, Kanban, Lean are effective approaches for digital project management. They provide flexibility, collaboration, the iterative delivery of value, enable teams to adapt quickly to change, improve the work quality, and effectively meet customer needs. As for which methodology to use, as I mentioned earlier, it depends on the business model and the team. In my case, with the development team, we work with Scrum, with bi-weekly deliveries, daily reviews, collaborative work, etc. However, at the business level, we use a more of a Kanban format that allows us to understand objectives and needs and see what we are currently working on, what is already done, and what is pending, for example. But in our day-to-day, we also apply Lean principles and always strive for maximum value contribution to the business in the shortest possible time, avoiding investing time in tasks that don't add value. So, which is the best one? For me, I think the best option is always work with a mix of that. Well, I strongly believe that your background defines how you approach these three pillars and how you implement any methodology. I mean, you can always get a great learning from your background. In my case, I studied journalism in Valencia, and during the early years of my career, I worked in radio and television news, as well as video production, and writer for a digital newspaper focused on economic information. You know, a lot of things. After completing my degree, I decided to study a postgraduate degree in graphic design and audiovisual communication in the digital environment, which at that time meant learning to programming in an easy way. It was Dreamweaver and Flash times, while also understanding the digital language and digital marketing. After finish the postgraduate program, I started working as a front-end programmer in an agency that create websites for small and medium-sized companies. I was the only female front-end programmer, and there were three other women in the team. Two focus on SEO, and one was a graphic designer. At this moment, I didn't know any female programmers, and it seemed to me like there weren't many in the industry in that moment. That was almost 15 years ago. And as an interesting anecdote that reflects the state of the industry or the digital world at this time. Well, one day a potential client knocked on our door because they weren't sure if it was the right place or not. And they asked directly at the entrance, is this the internet? Obviously, we told them it was, but the reality was that people working in a small and medium-sized business didn't know what internet was the digitalization was, even though it had been around for a long time. And I think it's a good example to introduce what I want to tell you now. That while working at that agency, I began to understand that there was a huge gap between what the business people knew about the digital world and what the developer who had to bring those projects to life understood. In my case, coming from an environment where objective and informed communication was crucial, I believe that a profile who understood the digital world and could communicate it effectively, while also understand the business side, could bring a lot of value to projects. I discussed this with the company management, and well, they understood the gap just as I did. So we create a new role that was responsible for understanding the clients' needs, proposing solutions based on what could be done in terms of programming, digital strategy, design. At the same time, I discussed those needs to the development team. I think without really knowing how, I was laying the groundwork for my current position in the digital world, product development, and digital projects. Well, from there, I moved on to much larger companies, multinational ones that manage big clients' accounts and much more complex digital projects. Programming and technology were growing very fast, not that as fast as now, and companies had to adapt as fast as they could to those changes. I think every year new jobs appear related to technology management, digitalization, innovation, data science, and are relevant to the success of the company. But despite all this advance, the gap is still there in most projects. Technology and business struggle to understand each other. I think it's necessary to have these new profiles linked to management of the company and the development of technology side to fill the gap and align these two areas. And believe me, every professional experience you have counts and helps you manage projects better, even if you consider that it has been the worst professional experience of your life. Okay. And well, I would like to end with a small note about the role of women in our industry. It is gratifying to see events of these characteristics and to be able to give visibility to women in technology. The number of women in high-level technical position is still very low from my point of view, According to Women in Tech, only 1 in 5 people working in tech industry today are women. In my case, although our work team consists of 3 men and 3 women, with a male CTO and myself as CPO at the same level, I still feel that this is an exception. I am already in a company where around 80% are women, and that is wonderful and a really good number. I think we still have a lot to do, but as I said before, events like this, this FemHack, show us that it is possible to change those figures. So I encourage you to continue growing, and above all, to enjoy the journey despite the numbers. Then communicate and listen if you want to succeed. And when this is all I wanted to tell you. Thank you so much for your time. I think Noelia is. We have.
Sorry, I think that we were talking at the same time. Thank you very much. Super interesting insight, to be honest. And yeah, I do agree with you, and I think that FemHack community also does. That there's still a gap there, right? That should be filling somehow. And this is why we are here today. This is why you are here today, right? To show that there are already women working in all level positions in the tech industry, no matter what level, right? Even in management positions, in more specific technical positions, right? From a tech lead to a VP, it doesn't matter. So there is a gap, and I think that society in general already feel it, which has to be solved. And for us, the first step would be to say, hey, there are already women that are doing things, right? As you are doing, right? So the first thing that I have to say is thank you for being here today with us. Thank you for being a role model, and thank you for providing with your experience. The public has some questions. If you don't mind, I would proceed to throw the questions to you. So at first, yeah, let me check. Yeah, sure. At first, we have Laia, which is asking, which would be your tip for a really technical person that has trouble communicating easily? It is always a difficult thing for me as a developer to explain to my management level about technical stuff.
Well, I understand you perfectly because I have this problem so many times. I have it. For me, when I have to explain something very technical to a person that I know that probably don't understand me at the first time, I always try to do it like it was a child. Okay, then you have to be very, very, very simple. It's an effort because probably you have to be more metaphoric, and for me it's very helpful to find examples of the current life, of the things that you know that are common. Okay. I don't know, maybe for me server, when I talk about servers and hostings, and that's it. Always I talk about that like houses, and people understand when I talk about houses. No?
Yeah, it's a really good tip indeed to make things easier, like for all publics. Yeah, so I think it was a. Can you hear me well? Okay, sorry. I was touching my micro, which is a thing that I'm not supposed to do at all, but I was doing so. So sorry if you heard something strange. Sorry. Yeah, good tip indeed. Just for us to share and for the public to know, right? I'm on the other side sometimes, right? So I have an incredible team of developers, right? That they are trying to explain things to me sometimes, and I try to say them some things. Try to explain that in a way you could think I could understand, right? Because I really want to, and because I really want to help you. You know, like maybe asking for some additional information to a client or whatever, right? But please don't try to put me examples, as you said, and that really helps. And at the end, you understand the concept as a non-purely technical profile. And once you understood it, then you can have another conversation similar to that one, and you have the knowledge there for, as I said, for dummies somehow, right? And once you understood it, it's done, and it's fine, and it's really helpful. And it's a tool that I think that a lot of technical people has to work on sometimes, because it's not innate, right? You have to train to do so, right? And they have to put more. They have to put more effort to do so, but it's highly appreciated from the other side.
Yeah, and I tell on the talk that it's not that you don't say what you are doing because it's too technical. No, you have to say it, and it is the only way to make that people from business departments are communicating with the technology side.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, totally.
make
I do agree with you. Yeah. I have another question from the public saying, you studied journalism, how it was the change or the jump to a more technical field coming from such a different studies background?
I studied journalism, but during the career, I work a lot with. I like graphic designer, so I work with Illustrator. I work with at the university. They teach us how to create your own website because it was the beginning of the people having a blog to give information. So it's a tool for us. I was good doing that, and I'm interested. I'm very interested in that. So I continue with the master in graphic design and digital, and that's the way I cross the line. And but it's true that when I start to do it, I say, okay, I'm better understanding that and make it easy for the people who don't understand than do it. I mean, I have a really good developers in my team that don't study journalism. I have one that study journalism also, and she is now front end in my team, and she's really good, really good. But for me, it's impressive because for me, I'm better communicating and understanding than doing than executing the job.
Yeah, I do feel you. I really represent myself with you, I think. One thing that I really like from this sector, from the tech industry sector, it doesn't matter if it's I mean, whichever category, or it doesn't matter, because I think that there's a lot of brave people. I mean, there is a lot of people that has changed their career path, their studies, and has did a jump into this industry, right? I think it's really attractive because it's constantly changing, you know, a lot of new stuff to learn, challenges, and people likes that, like people likes being fit by the environment, right? And there are so many cases like yours, for example, that you study journalism and you decide to switch to this sector, or the developer in your team that you just mentioned, right? That did the same, and it's really brave and it's really encouraging, and it's a particularity of this sector that I really like. And especially in the context in which we are today, which is the International FemHack, right? Where we are trying to give visibility to profile like yours and the other conferences that has been today here with us. It's also maybe a message for them, like for these women that maybe are now listening to us, but they are hesitating or they have doubts or whatever, just do it. I mean, if you think you will like it, there is always a space for everybody in this sector, because every person who I speak with, everyone has an example of someone that at some point did his change or this jump, and it's amazing. I really like it. And when I see profiles like yours or the developer that you mentioned, it's really encouraging because it doesn't matter. Whatever you did, you can change it and you can start again, or you can learn more things. And like it's for me, it's amazing. I really like this industry for that reason. So I think that you do agree with me.
Yeah, completely agree with you. And I think also the more technical, the technical people, the developers, and the ones who has skills for communicate and manage projects, it's really good to have people like this. And this give them a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, a lot of yeah. If you have both, like technical and you are good at communicating, it's a really good profile to be the bridge between both worlds, right?
Because this bridge is necessary.
Yeah. And that's true that it's not that easy, maybe, right? Because either you study and you did some formation to have a really hard skills, right? Either you in an innate sense you are good at communication, and to have both mixed together, it's something that should be trained somehow, and that should be encouraged also on the sector. So I do agree with you. I have another question coming as well from the public, which says, according to you, Agile has disrupted the tech industry. Do you think that everybody feels comfortable working Agile?
Well, for me, when we start to work with Agile, it was a difference. It makes the difference between be more organized. We know what we are doing, and we don't have long period times. I remember to have roadmaps huge for a year, for example, and say it's horrible. The project never finish, and the client never see what you are doing. And with agile methodologies, it gives you another way of work that for me is better than before. And but I think not all people is happy working with that, because sometimes could be more stressful because you are always delivering features, or so not everyone is comfortable when you are not. I mean, for me it's easy. I understand that people that could be someone not happy with that, but you can work in more long-term projects and be more comfortable with other kind of methodologies. But I really think that when agile appears, change the way we have to work.
I also agree with you on that part. I think that people maybe sometimes, the people who doesn't feel really comfortable working with agile methodologies is because they're stronger sense of tracking of the tasks that you are doing, and and somehow you could feel like you are being tracked for your work, right? But this is not really the aim of agile methodology. As you said, is being able to adapt and to deliver in a faster way, and to commit easily and in a more quicker manner to your customer needs or to your company needs, if you don't have current clients or you don't have former clients, right? But I do agree. Agile arrived, and for me it disrupts the way that the industry was working and the way the industry was adapting itself to the current needs of the society, I would say. So I agree with you. Maybe there's others that they don't share that vision, right? It's totally an opinion, and all opinions are good. But in that sense, I agree with you. Okay, Anna, I have the last question for today. So this is, how important do you think that the team believes on the product of the project that is being developed or that it's being implemented?
Well, it's really, really important. And it's something that the company or the management team has to do. For me, the insights of the team are really, really important. It is the most important part of what we are developing. Okay, so they have to be comfortable with what they are doing. I mean, because if they are comfortable and they are going to improve also the product and propose new features. But it's something that I think the management part has to do. Because not every project is a good idea. Not every development is a fabulous, I don't know, is like you are doing the best product in the world. No, sometimes you are doing something that for you is okay, but I prefer to do another, you know.
Yeah. It's true that sometimes you are doing something in which you don't really feel it commit to, right? But in a way you have to, because it's part of your work. But I also agree with you. I think that when you are working on product development, especially, it's really important to feel that what you are doing, it's worth it for you, in the sense that, yeah, I would use that product, right? I mean, it's something that it's fancy, that I like it, and that I feel engaged to, and I think that it's retroactive to your own work.
In my case, for example, I loved, it's something that I usually do, is to make meetings with the development team when we have to talk about with sales department or finance department. I always include in the meeting the developers, because I want they understand what the other departments are asking for, or what problems they have, because if they know in this way, making a conversation between them, then they feel more comfortable with of what they are doing, and they know that these things that they are developing are helping others.
Yeah.
And make
And
sense
this is key.
what they are.
Yeah. This is key. This is key. I do agree with you. This is key. Okay, Anna, so all the questions from the public has been answered by you, so thank you very much for that. I think that the public is really happy and will really appreciate your effort of today. So the last thing that I have to say once again is thank you. Thank you for being here today with us. Thank you for being part of the International FemHack. As I said, the International FemHack makes sense because people like you is participating and taking place. So thank you very much, and I really hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much. It's going to
Thank
be
you,
a
Anna.
pleasure for me.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and for the rest, we will be continuing with the conferences for this afternoon. The next one is at 5 p.m. Central European time, so it means in 50 minutes. We will be back in 50 minutes. Thank you very much for being there.